Alright, let's dive into something that's been buzzing in the MotoGP world recently. Marco Bezzecchi's performance at the British Grand Prix Sprint is one of those stories that just grabs your attention. Here's the thing, this guy was basically racing while feeling destroyed, and still managed to snag a podium finish. How does that even happen? Let's break it down. First off, the hook here is obvious. Bezzecchi was coming off a broken shoulder, knee pain, and restricted movement. I mean, just a month ago, he was in surgery. Most of us would be lucky to walk up a flight of stairs after that, let alone race a MotoGP bike at Silverstone. But here's where it gets fascinating, he didn't just show up, he topped Friday's practice session. Personally, I think that's a testament to his sheer grit. But the real test came on Saturday, with qualifying and the sprint pushing him to his absolute limits. What makes this really interesting is the physical toll it took on him. Qualifying alone left him destroyed, and then he had to go out and race 10 laps in the sprint. That's twice as many as he managed in a single run earlier that day. In my opinion, this isn't just about physical endurance, it's about mental toughness. Battling through pain, a slow start, and even a strange sensation in his foot, he still managed to overtake Marquez and Di Giannantonio to secure third place. That's not just racing, that's surviving. One thing that immediately stands out is how Bezzecchi himself downplayed his chances. He said he didn't expect much, especially after feeling worse on Saturday morning than he did the day before. If you take a step back and think about it, this guy was essentially racing against his own body as much as he was against the other riders. What this really suggests is that sometimes, the biggest opponent in sports isn't your competition, it's yourself. Now, let's talk about the bigger picture here. Bezzecchi's podium finish wasn't just a personal victory, it was part of Aprilia's first ever sprint podium lockout. That's huge. It's not just about one rider's resilience, it's about the team's performance as a whole. What many people don't realize is that these kinds of achievements often come from a combination of individual effort and team strategy. Bezzecchi's result wasn't just his own, it was a win for Aprilia too. But here's the kicker, Sunday's Grand Prix was going to be even tougher. 20 laps instead of 10, and Bezzecchi was already questioning whether he could replicate his sprint result. Personally, I think that's where the real story lies. It's easy to celebrate a podium finish, but it's the uncertainty of what comes next that makes this narrative so compelling. He said he'd try to survive, and honestly, that's what makes sports so relatable. We're all just trying to survive our own challenges, aren't we? A detail I find fascinating is how Bezzecchi's injuries force him to compensate with his right side. That's not just physical adaptation, it's a mental recalibration. You're essentially retraining your body to perform under completely new conditions. From my perspective, that's where the true magic of sports happens, in those moments of adaptation and resilience. If you take a step back and think about it, Bezzecchi's story isn't just about racing. It's about pushing through when everything in your body is telling you to stop. This raises deeper opinion /n/t/n/n/t/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/n/